That's right, guys. Today, I'm going to rank them. Which one was the worst, which one was the best, and which one was the weirdest. So let's begin. Someone recording the random story. 3, 2, 1. The first story is I sold my hand to become a billionaire. Isn't that crazy? Put on his load.
Hi everyone, I'm
Okay,
Carl,
let's do this
and most likely you will think that I am a waif or my family is very poor, but it's not like that at
Okay,
all.
it's the
Or
story of
rather, it's exactly the opposite because
I
my
think you're
dad
poor.
is a
You've made a
billionaire
mistake.
and his wealth is hard to
If you-
count. However, he is
seriously that this person decides to be a millionaire.
afraid to spend his money. Moreover,
I know why, but something makes me seriously doubt it.
he keeps it in our house because he does not trust anyone. I know this
Is that your dad? Looks the same age as you. And if that is really your sister or your mom, I want to think about it.
information is difficult to accept, but I will try to explain everything to you. My father's father
That looks like a famous person.
died at a very young age, so my grandmother had to raise 3 children alone.
Okay, these. They're all depressed, and now I'm just like, wait a second. That sad that guy died in a tank crash. All makes sense now.
My dad was the oldest of them and saw how hard it was for his mom. Therefore, he vowed that he would do everything to become rich and leave behind a solid legacy.
Why are you here? This is your father's scene. Get out of here. It's not your scene.
He studied hard and chose the most lucrative job that suited him. And as soon as he began to receive payment for his work, he immediately began to save. And that was long before he met my mother.
Okay, who are these background characters? Because she is about 8 foot tall, and if that's his dad looks the exact same as his son, and he looks the exact same age, and then that's just a weird brother. And they picked up
He began to save. And that was long before he met my mother. After the wedding, the parents began to look for housing, and
I just refer to them as a parent.
they agreed on the desire to live in nature. And since my mother is from a rich family and my father at that time was a real poor man for her, she decided to make a surprise and bought a paintball club to build a house in its place. Dad was furious at such a waste of money and the very idea, so Mom decided to lie and convinced him that it was a gift from her parents.
I want to skip ahead a bit.
Meanwhile, my teeth started to hurt and I urgently needed a dentist, shouting at me that I was a real parasite who did not appreciate life and nature at all. So I use a taxi and stuff like that. As a punishment, he forbade me to go out with friends and about his life, about his poverty, and he said that the astrologer advised him to keep the money as close as possible so it will be kept in the house.
You have to be really dumb to do that.
My mother accepted this because my father did not commit anything criminal.
Wait, that's your father, and he was just a guy.
And soon I was born. But alas, the life of our family was not cloudless. Dad was saving on everything he could, and Mom was crazy about it. They constantly quarreled since my mother had to ask her parents for money for basic things like household chemicals or clothes, and my father forbade spending money on this. In the end, my mother...
How dare you spend money on what, clothes? You want food on the table? What? You idiot. Who would want food on the table? No one. No one wants food on the table. Do you want food on the table? And fresh clothes? Somewhere nice to sleep? And something to cook?
Mother could not stand it and moved with me to her parents. Dad's sister managed to reconcile them, My mother returned, but on the condition that my father will allocate money for me and our needs. He himself continued to change for the worse and
Say, what is that toy? Some Bugs Bunny ripoff.
began to practice a raw food diet, which made him noticeably thinner. But here's the paradox. With all this, he continued to run his business and almost every day brought home stacks of money. As you can see, I didn't manage to catch my dad in his right
What genius.
mind, and because of this, Dad says that one needs to protect nature, the environment, money, and therefore, and I do not know anything about a normal existence. My school is not very close to our house, and earlier, my mom and I were sure that Dad would hire a personal driver, send me to a private school
Yeah, wish. Your dad doesn't even spend a dime.
closer to home, or simply allow me to study remotely. But no, I've been cycling to school for 8 years, and I spend 2 hours on the road.
Wait, so 8 years. What age are you? I think around. We'll say this guy's 17. 17 minus 8. So since you were 9.
Every day. Can you guess why? Dad says that one needs to protect nature, the environment, money, and therefore you need to go to school only on bicycles. And he
Why don't you just walk to school? You don't have to just ride a bike.
generally considers cars to be the evil and nightmare of modern humanity. Once I was visiting my grandparents and I didn't pay attention to the time, so I stayed up late. It was dangerous and
He took the taxi. He's evil. He's turned evil, guys. I'm sorry. This guy turned evil.
unwise to ride a bike in the dark, so my grandmother called me a taxi and gave me money.
His face looks really sketchy. Gravity Falls.
As soon as we got home,
I'm just gonna add for a.
my furious father came out and started shouting at me that I
I can't even use proper English. As I said that, I can't even use proper English. You need to use proper English. What did he say again?
stayed up late. It was dangerous and unwise to ride a bike in the dark, so my grandmother called me a taxi and gave me money.
Well, reference.
As soon as we got home, my furious father came out and started.
Come on. As I said, furious.
Well,
father.
my teeth started to hurt and I urgently needed a dentist. But my father said that dentistry is a complete harm to the body because fillings and other materials are made from harmful metals and
How could that be? Impossible. So basically, this.
ending to return the gift. As we got home, he locked me in the tool store, calling me a thief and a pest. My mother couldn't keep quiet any longer, so she called the police. My father was detained and recognized as dangerous for himself and society, so he ended up for compulsory
Society is evil. How could that guy? Society needs more men like him in the world.
treatment in a psychiatric clinic. It seems to be some kind of obsessive disorder and a bunch of subconscious fears, but one thing made me happy. It
Okay, this guy's just dancing. This guy doesn't have his spirit properly, and this guy is just.
can be cured. An investigation has begun about this amount of money, but when it was revealed that they were all earned lawfully, we were recommended to put them in the bank, which my mother and I did. It turned out that the bills occupied more than half of our house. I had no idea that our accommodation was so large and roomy. And my mother and I stopped living under strict financial constraints and allowed ourselves a normal life. We brought home modern appliances, furniture, and food. We bought clothes for ourselves.
You bought clothes for yourself? No, impossible. How could you do that? I can't buy clothes.
And of course, made a good repair. You can't even imagine how happy I was to find normal human conditions for life. All this time, my mother regularly visited my father in the clinic. He ignored her, but in the end, thanks to therapy, He realized that it was important to live in the present and not in the future, and went into dialogue with my mother. Soon,
What? Isn't the thing, it's not good to live in the past, but to look in the present. Wait, no. It's not good to stay in the past, it's good to stay in the present. Not, it's bad to stay in the past and good to stay in the future. It's a present.
he was discharged from the hospital, and the life of our family began with a clean slate. Dad was thrilled with the way we had transformed our home and said he was very sorry that he hadn't let us do.
Also, yeah, he entered dialogue with the mom. Who says this? Oh, yes. I have. And you could have just said, yeah, my dad and mom started talking, but no, they entered dialogue. It's dialogue.
It before. Now I know for sure that money can't make you happy, even if there's a whole heap of it right next to you. Moreover, sometimes they can make your life hell. Would you like to have a heap of money at home? Share your answers in the comments. Click on the thumbs up button under this video and subscribe to our channel.
Story.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl, and most likely you will think that I am.
Journalist.
You'd think those obsessive ex-girlfriends only existed in movies. I thought the same too. And I didn't think I'd ever have to see myself experiencing something like that. But life just keeps proving me
This guy looks like a toad on crack.
wrong. Hi, I'm Max.
Hello, Max. What are you doing? What's the point of your existence? This is just a praise.
My ex-girlfriend stalked and obsessed with me even up until I got engaged.
She obsessed with me? Wait. So, wait. You're obsessing over yourself. But you with her? Okay, this story's already confusing. We're gonna dive in.
It's a really long story. And it all started when we were still together. That was a long time ago, though. But even then, I really find it hard to forget. Her name's Cynthia. And at the start of our relationship, she was
Oh,
really
Cynthia.
sweet and caring. We were in college back then, and we were just so in love, we ended up renting an apartment together so we could spend more time with each other. And just...
No, Cynthia, it's the Sinnoh champion guy. And he is a really strong trainer. You can't go over with Pokemon trainer no matter what.
mellowed down for a while, and I was able to go back into the dating scene without having to worry about anyone attacking the girl I was meeting up with. During this time is when I met my current fiancée, Sophia. She was kind and gentle, and I was worried she'd end up like Cynthia in the long run. But I convinced myself that if I got scared now, I would never find myself the right person. I didn't see any red flags with Sophia, but it was probably because it wasn't her that carried it. I'll explain.
She just holds the red flag. Cynthia just carries a red flag. Yeah, I have a red flag. There's a bunch of red flags. You should go buy a red flag. They're at the red flag store. I'm missing something important.
I'll clean it up later. Do you want some tea? She asked me. Thinking about that now, years later, it still gives me goosebumps. At the time, I ignored it and shrugged it off, thinking that it wasn't creepy at all. I wish I'd seen sooner, though, because the signs after that were
Look at the high quality animation.
much worse. They were way more obvious and violent, and that was when I started to distance myself. She'd often snoop through my phone while I was asleep, and when she can't open it the first try, she'd wake me up just to pick a fight with me and call me a cheater. We would fight about it all night.
Can't open phone. You are a cheater. You cheated on that maths assignment. I know you did that. How could you cheat on that maths assignment? I studied my butt off, and you said you studied your butt off too, but obviously no, you cheated. How could you?
and the only time she'd ever feel satisfied is if she called all the girl contacts and confirmed I wasn't having an affair with any of them. There was also that one time when I got home from class and all my stuff was scattered in the living room. My clothes were thrown everywhere along with my personal belongings. And when I confronted her about it,
Yeah.
she just told me she was making sure I didn't have a secret phone that I was hiding from her. I was wondering if it's okay if we invite her here. I'll just make it up to you on our next date. Sophia smiled at me. I agreed in a heartbeat.
Why does the heart look like that? That's not anyone's heart.
How could I have said no to that?
No.
Sophia was happy, and she immediately texted her friend to come over while I finished off the rest of my meal. Here she is! Max, I want you to meet my friend. Sophia got up from her seat, causing me to look up from my wine. What I saw next almost made me spit the drink in my mouth. Cynthia stood next to Sophia, all innocent smiles and cheerful greetings. She even apologized for intruding, but continued to sit at our table for the rest of the night. I couldn't believe it. I felt like all of what happened was just a dream. The night went by like a breeze, and I was just getting dragged away because of how hung up I was on the whole thing. I even ended up agreeing to drive Cynthia home, despite my mind screaming not to do it. She didn't say anything about us, or even acted weird around Sophia. I was the weird one just because I couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't know what her reasons are for keeping quiet about us, but Sophia remained innocent that Cynthia and I were exes, and didn't even get a hint about it. I probably wouldn't tell her in fear that she'd side with her friend. I was contemplating the whole drive home, whether I'd continue seeing Sophia or just stop all in all. But enough. Not just for me, but Sophia as well. Cynthia only stopped when she and Sophia got into an argument that wasn't related to us in any way, leading to the termination of their friendship. I didn't see much.
This guy, he's just like, yeah, they're gonna get terminated. I'm gonna punch you now. And the hand, well, his hand is just red.
I didn't see much of her after that, and I've never felt more relief in my whole life. The rest of my days with Sophia were as peaceful as I can remember. No Cynthia, not even a glimpse of her shadow anymore. Sophia and I ended up getting engaged over time. Of course, I was the one who proposed to her, and we were so happy we immediately got into wedding planning. I completely forgot about Cynthia and her whole ordeal, given that neither of us ever mentioned her again. And we were quite busy with wedding preparations. I thought my life would continue to be at peace. But when I saw the wedding invitations my fiancé had created, I felt my heart drop to my stomach. Written in the fancy letters is Cynthia's name, and not only as a guest to our wedding, but Sophia's bridesmaid as well. I stood there completely speechless, not knowing how to process the new information, and if I had anything left to do about it. I had to talk to Sophia. Honey, Cynthia's going to our...
Oh god damn it. He can't get away from the Sinnoh champion. Enter Garchomp.
Wedding? I asked, trying not to sound completely surprised. Oh, yes! I wanted it to be a surprise to you that she and I made up. And I thought, what better way to let you know? Sophia
Oh yes. Inviting your psychopath ex. Your psychopath ex and my psychopath friend to our wedding. She completely obsesses over you. She will definitely not kidnap you and run away during the wedding. And look, here's that empty wedding card.
enthusiastically gestured to the...
And what happened to her hands? The half brand, she got a turn. I think she got a turn. And I'm not trying to be racist because the rest of her hands, the fingers are just different colors.
Pile of invitations on her desk. I couldn't speak. Couldn't muster a reply. Couldn't even smile at her. The possibility that Cynthia's going to be a part of our lives from now on scares me to no end. And all I can do is let it happen, because I love my fiancé a little too much to even let her know the truth. I'm sure somewhere, wherever Cynthia may be,
Why is she just dancing?
is celebrating the fact that I'm
Stop
cornered.
dancing. Stop
It's
dancing.
either I bear with the fact that she'll be a part of our lives forever now, or I risk losing Sophia by telling her Cynthia and I used to date. And I waited this long to tell her. I dug my own grave.
Oh, she never told him. Although it's just the last picture of the video, it's just him digging a grave. Anyway, time for the final one. I sold my hands to become a billionaire.
After walking around the mall for hours with my parents and younger sister, Michelle, I was starving. As we sat in the food court, I picked up a fry and was about to place it in my mouth when someone grabbed my hand. With a confused look, I tilted my head as a slim lady with a large mink coat and shades seemed to be admiring my hand.
Can we help you?
Mom looked at the lady as she removed my hand from hers.
I'd like to offer you $1 billion for your hands.
The lady looked at me.
Plot thickens. She just whips out a giant suitcase. She just has it on you to look at someone's hand. Okay, let me just study this person's hand. Not $1 billion worthy. $1 billion worth. I mean $1 billion euro worthy.
As she lowered her glasses so I could see her eyes. Hey, my name is Caitlin. Before I continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Have you tapped that notification bell? Please
You guys should listen to Kathleen.
do, so you can know when more amazing videos are out. Dad immediately stood up and
Yeah, you should subscribe to my channel, my animation channel. You guys should do that. Animation channel linked in the description below.
pointed his finger at the lady.
Now, you hold it there, lady.
The lady held up her hand and Dad stopped talking.
Her hands are perfect for the beauty market. Her hands are the perfect model for my skincare products. I am
Wait, this. Oh, now she's checking for her mouth. What is this? She looks like she's been caught doing something very illegal, and she's like, officers, no.
willing to offer a $1 billion contract now.
My eyes pleaded with my parents.
I think we should think about this.
Mom looked over me, then at Dad.
The deal is on.
The weird thing is, that girl has purple eyes, and no one else in this world purple is not an actual color. She must be really aware herself.
The table
Use contact lenses. She probably use contact lenses.
now.
I have blue eyes.
You either take it or leave it.
Come on, Mom. When am I ever going to get another chance at $1 billion?
Fine.
Euros, you idiot.
Mom nodded her head. I watched as the lady opened her bag and pulled out a contract. My eyes twinkled as I thought about all the things I was going to purchase as I watched my parents sign the contract.
Good.
The lady said, putting the contract back in her bag, and the lady
Good.
turned and walked away. My money in my college fund. A boy, I whispered to myself. My heart sank when he walked past without saying anything. I turned and watched him walk away. Stepped into school with my new clothes. I felt like a new
Okay, she just turned her life around. This deal was €1 billion. Now she's entering school.
person. Word about my $1 billion contract with the beauty company spread like wildfire. I have no idea how they could have gotten that info. Girls that never spoke with me before were now
Hello.
telling me hello,
Very good response.
and the boys were waving
Good.
at me and asking me for my phone number. My heart fluttered when I realized that Austin was walking towards me.
What is wrong with Austin? Just look at her.
Austin recently started school here and was in my homeroom class. He's just a boy. He's just a boy, I whispered.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I'm just a boy, and you're just a girl. Why do I sound so malicious saying that? No.
To myself. My heart sank when he walked past without saying anything. I turned and watched him walk away.
You really thought that Austin was going to talk to you?
Tori, the captain of the cheerleading team, smirked as she brushed
Character Tori.
past me and headed in Austin's direction. But unlike me, she was bold enough to talk to him.
I think as a boyfriend and girlfriend, just imagine this situation. So you have your girlfriend, and then your boyfriend, and like the girlfriend, and you're just like, I don't want to talk to them. Babe, what are you doing? I can't talk to you. I don't have the guts. Babe, we've been dating for like 8 years. gets married. Babe, I don't want to look at you. I don't have the courage to talk to you. Even you look at them. They're the same age as you. Babe, we're married for like 68 years. Please come back. And I had 18 children. Please help.
She makes me so angry. I clenched my fists. Suddenly, someone bumped into me, and I felt something sticky fall onto my fingers and drip down my clothes. I glared at the girl that had stumbled and thrown the juice over me. How dare you?
How could you? How could you spray hands? Wait. No, she didn't spray hands. I said, how dare you spray honey on my hands? The rarest model of hands. I bet you only have the worst model in the universe of hands. You wouldn't understand. These hands are like worth €1 billion.
Do you know how much my hands cost? I waved my hands in front of her.
I'm so sorry.
She tried to wipe my hands. You did enough damage for one day. Why don't you go and make someone else's life miserable? The girl.
She just turned 180-degree personality. What? Right here.
Hey guys, I'm going to try out BootKiss's new face tracking feature. BootKiss is an app.
Franklin asked shyly. I was about to say no, but then I had a great idea. You know what had happened today at school? I looked at my sister. Why should I get my pretty little fingers wrinkled? I think you should do it. Michelle scoffed as she opened my door fully.
What?
I stormed off towards the bathroom to wash up. I had to spend the rest of the day with a huge red stain on my shirt. That afternoon, while doing my homework, someone knocked on my door.
Hey, Caitlin, it's your turn to do the
It's your time to do dishes.
dishes.
Michelle's head peeked around the door. As I thought,
She's gonna say, no, I don't want to get my hair. You do the dishes, Michelle. You see, I have the rest model and you have the worst model. Now go do it.
about what had happened today at school, I looked at my sister. Why should I get my pretty little fingers wrinkled? I think you should do it. I told him I would pay him to do my homework, and he agreed. I also hired Franklin, our next door neighbor, to carry my bag to and from school. The first person I handed one to. Hi! I walked up to him,
Quite nice. Having a party.
ignoring Tori, who was standing next to us. I watched as Austin waved her over. My jaw dropped when I realized who Austin's sister was. Y'all remember that teeny tiny incident where the girl stumbled and threw the juice on me? The girl was Austin's
Oh no, you idiot. You idiot.
sister.
Ellie, this is Caitlin, the host of the party.
We shook hands. Are you enjoying the party?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
Ellie turned and walked away abruptly with Austin.
She doesn't remember that. What she did to your hand. And you should probably just run away and be ashamed, sulk, be depressed. Run, hide. She'll get her revenge.
On her heels. I watched as he held her hand to stop her. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I knew they were talking about me since they were constantly looking in my direction. Ellie walked away and
Then why is she blushing? Why is she blushing? They're talking about me. I blush now.
disappeared into the house. Austin shook his head at me and followed her inside, and he didn't return. Even though I wanted to run to my room and cry, I couldn't desert my guests. The rest of the party was a blur. I was happy when the last person left. I didn't see Austin.
Wait, did the last person just... Okay, we're gonna turn the playback speed. Here.
Her inside, and he didn't return. Even though I wanted to run to my room and cry, I couldn't desert my guests. The rest of the party was a blur.
That kid's just like, what to do? What a great party. Now I must go back to space. I'll see you guys next time. Maybe when she turns another sweet 16. But I guess I have to come back to my parents on Mars. I'm gonna have to walk fly there. I'm like, hey, walk fly. Goes to school. I have to walk fly again, Mom. I hate living on Mars. I just want to live on Earth.
I was happy when the last person left. I didn't see Austin until lunch the next day when we were at school. I asked him why he left.
My sister told me what you did. You know, I see you walking around
Oh. News.
here with people doing
The plot thickens. My sister told me what you did. So we're gonna spit all over your hands. Everyone spits.
everything you pay them to do. Yet I still thought there was some good in you because my parents told me never to judge a book by its cover. But after Ellie told me how you humiliated her, my suspicions about you were right. I don't ever want to speak to you again.
Austin walked away and walked.
She's depressed. You see, you were mean to everyone and my sister. I can't believe I don't want you again. But it was all their fault. They got my hands dirty, and I hired them to work for me. It's not my fault that I have the best model hands and you hand models suck.
Filled my eyes. I hustled to the girls' bathroom where I locked myself in a stall and cried. I knew that I had to make things right with Ellie, then maybe Austin would forgive me? I found
Wow. What a... She's just doing it just to get a date. She's weird.
Ellie after school. Hey, can we talk?
Let me guess. You want to apologize for what you did so that my brother will forgive you. All you popular kids are the same. You don't do anything unless it benefits you.
I like this character. I like this his brother.
You have zero chances of getting with my brother. He is too good for you, and I will never forgive you.
Ellie walked away. That afternoon, I didn't wait for Franklin. I walked home quickly. I just wanted this day to end. Once home, I crawled into bed and stayed there for the rest
Who crawls like... I'm a spider. She's a spider.
of the afternoon. Next Saturday, my parents dropped me off at the mall to do my commercial. My eyes were red and puffy from crying the whole week. My parents were convinced that I had the flu. I had to convince them that I was fine. When I walked into the studio, Madame Laurel looked me over.
Well, it's a good thing you aren't a face model, darling. Your face looks like trash.
With that, she began to order everyone around to get the photo shoot done. After the shoot, Madame Laurel warned me to keep my hands safe because I had a major photo shoot coming up the next weekend. Out to the mall, I saw some of my friends, and they convinced me to stay a while. We headed to the skateboard rink at the back of the mall. Austin and some of his friends.
Oh, it's Austin's sister. Never mind. She's gonna get her hands dirty and she's gonna fail her job. It's her best model hands. Siri.
Were there doing skateboarding tricks. It was my first time on a skateboard. All they wanted me to do was keep both my legs on the skateboard until I reached the other side. Simple, right? I got on and they pushed me. Everything was going great until a dog came out of nowhere and ran in front of...
Excuse me, man. That is not a dog. That is some dog hybrid thing. Oh, guys, look at my new dog. That's my new dog. Jimmy? That's not your dog. Silly goose, what is it then? That is a hybrid. Don't be silly. It's my dog. I named him Choo Choo.
the skateboard. I tumbled. I went one way and the skateboard went the other. The pain in my wrist was intense. My friends ran over and someone took a bath and went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast when I heard the doorbell ring. I opened it and was surprised. There stood Ellie.
Hi. I heard about what happened yesterday. Any girl crazy enough to get on a skateboard for my brother? Well, let's just say, maybe you aren't so bad after all.
Ellie grinned.
Ellie, I liked you. But then your personality changed from 180 degrees plus 360 degree change personality. You don't go to the person who's just, oh. If you got on my skateboard, hey, you know the way you got on the skateboard for my brother? Oh, yeah? Well, I want to I want to be your friend now. Yay! Friendship! And I get a new boyfriend now.
Now, the both of you need to talk.
The both of? My words trailed off as Austin came out from his hiding spot. He apologized for his behavior and asked me if I'd like to go
How is Austin did nothing wrong. You should be apologizing. What did Austin do wrong?
to the movies with him sometime. Before I knew what was happening, Austin pulled me close and kissed me on the cheek.
I'll call you.
Austin. No, yeah, I'm getting confused. I don't think this is a kiss. She just.
Austin pulled me close and
That is not a kiss. Her face is just like. Face just done still. She has no emotion. She's motionless.
he kissed me on the cheek.
I'll call you tonight, okay?
I nodded. I watched as he walked away to meet Ellie. I closed the door and sighed. I spent the next week apologizing and begging for forgiveness from my friends and Michelle. I admitted that I did get a tad bit cocky, but if they allowed me to, I would make it up to them.
Tad bit. A tad bit. You manipulated them. Like. The person to win, the most believable, goes to. Most believable goes to this guy. I don't know. I find this guy most believable because, yeah, your thing can be with friends with your ex, and your ex can be obsessed over you, or obsessing with you. Which this guy says. The second most believable is this guy. Come on, did you think I would pick the girl who sold her own hands? No, I didn't think so. Most unbelievable. The worst one. I'm sorry, I have to go this one. No, actually this one. This one was the worst. Second worst, entertaining. So my last thing, the crown of the best story. The crown to the worst story is this one. Just in the animation, the storytelling, everything. It just sucked. It had a good start. But then, oh shucks, guys. Oh yeah, makes sense. Oh my god, she got a skateboard from my brother? Oh my gosh, this is insane. I must forgive her. She wanna kill my father, but she got a skateboard just from my brother? Oh my gosh, insane. How could this happen? Well, do you guys agree with my rankings? Also, this story lands in second place, and this one lands in first place. Good. Vascular lovers, adios amigos. See you all next time. Goodbye.
Gas, 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 gas. Gas, 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 gas. Gas, 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 gas. Gas, 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 gas. Gotta go fast. Gas, 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 gas. Gotta go fast.